What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Own the Chaos, where we talk about everything over-the-counter stocks. My name is Brad, and I trade over-the-counter stocks full-time. This is my job, but I also have a free community. It's called WeTradeHQ.com. Links in the description below. We have over 2,500 members worldwide. I highly encourage you to check us out, even if you're not interested in over-the-counter stocks. No matter what area of the market that you trade, WeTradeHQ is the place for you. And I'll go ahead and explain to you why later on. But first, it's Stock Watch Sunday. It's Christmas this week, and I will go over what to expect. There are stocks that I'm still watching, but having said that, it's going to be a short week, guys. We got tomorrow, which is Monday, which is also Christmas Eve. The stock market is only open till 1 o'clock. Obviously, it's closed on Christmas Day. And then Wednesday through Friday, it's business as usual, sort of. And I'll explain why. So, let me go ahead and welcome everybody here. Thanks, Alan and Josh, so far for showing up. We'll talk a little bit while we're waiting for other folks to join in. So it's Christmas week, right? So what do we expect? We're going to expect the stock market to be kind of slow, even after Christmas Day. The reason for that being is that just, there's probably not that many people trading. Oftentimes, people just take off this span of, Christmas break all the way through to the new year, and then it starts to pick back up again. So while it will be slow, I'm still going to go over some stocks that I'm watching, and we'll just kind of go from there. So the stocks that I am watching this week, just to kind of, give you guys something to take a look at, is PACV, FTEG, and again, INKW. So, as you know, INKW is my favorite one. I'll go ahead and explain to you why I think that it's definitely a good area to buy in. But full disclosure, again, this is just a stocks that I'm watching. I am in INKW, but it's not by any means encouraging you to buy it. I'm just showing you how I find success in, how I find value in a lot of these stocks, and which leads me to my success. It's not a recipe for you to buy necessarily. It's just, here's how I find success. If you find success in the same stocks, that's fine. That's your decision. But there's a method to my madness, and you can use this and apply this to other stocks as well that you may see value in. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me make sure that there's other folks in here. I'll go ahead and welcome Eunice, Tammy, Neil, and Bob. Good to see you guys here as well. And I'll go ahead and do what I normally do and just kind of share my screen with y'all, and we'll get started. So, PACV. If you guys aren't familiar with my channel, if you don't know what this platform is, again, it's WeTradeHQ.com, where you can do technical analysis and chat with folks, depending, with whatever ticker that it is that you're looking to check out, and also includes cryptocurrency as well, if that is your game. WeTradeHQ also is the place for you for that. So looking at PACV, have this here on my watch list for this week, and I Like Baby Stock has given us plenty of DD. He put up a wonderful DD package as to why PACV may be a nice little runner here. There's all kinds of attention about to be pushed onto PACV. I'm looking at this from a chart perspective, though. It's actually a little high on the RSI, but with the catalysts that are coming, what I tell a lot of folks that are within my mentorship group and also in my course is that catalysts can sometimes make it very difficult for a technical trader to try and make good decisions from a technical analysis point. So what I like to do is I like to always tell folks, hey, listen, I like to apply both fundamental trading and technical analysis. And so this is just part of it. Looking at the fundamental part of it, the float's 384,000. Now that is not an accurate float, okay? Because this is updated back in 2015. So looking at the OS, I always like to assume that the OS is the float if I can't go by anything else. So I'm always going to assume the worst of it. So 98 million. The way that it's trading, I don't think it's anywhere near 98 million. It's just, you always like to side on the error of caution. And, there's a lot of things that are going on with PACV when it comes to the reverse split. Everybody was talking, oh, well, what about this reverse split that we keep hearing about? And if you're looking at the reverse split, so I like BB Stock actually addressed this as well. The reverse split is only going to happen if they feel that they need to in order to uplist. This isn't a yes, we're definitely going to do it, or situation where you would see that typically with many other stocks. They will tell you that yes, indeed, this reverse split is for sure going to happen. They are simply disclosing that this reverse split may happen if necessary in order to uplist. Basically, they're just being fully transparent when it comes to that. If you're not familiar with PACV, we played this in the summer. It ran 300 or 400% when we did. Lots of folks made tons of money on PACV back then. They issued a dividend even, which attracted more attention. There's a lot going on here. They have asset acquisition could bring $40 million in additional revenue annually. The asset acquisition was previously announced as a letter of intent on August 16th. Asset purchase agreement was signed on September 18th, and the asset purchase transaction is anticipated to close on or before December 31st of this year. So that is this coming week, which again, this is why it's on my watch list for this week. Even though it could potentially be slow, this is still a huge deal for PACV and could quietly be a nice little runner going into the new year. There's a lot going on with PACV. I'll leave it to you to do even more, but just to kind of give you an idea as to what they do, one of their main things that they do to generate revenue and business is they have this product that's called Snowbars. It's an alcohol-infused ice cream. And, they've had a lot of success, seen some decent revenue. They have their hands in quite a bit of other things, but that's kind of like one of their major products that really, drives the majority of their revenue. So acquisition for this is huge. It's a big deal, especially in the OTC. You just don't see this kind of stuff come about all the time. And again, the reverse split part of it, it's only going to happen if necessary in order to uplist to NASDAQ. So, I feel like there's a lot of confusion revolving around this. So they're not saying that it's for sure going to happen. It's if they feel that it's necessary in order to uplist to NASDAQ. So take that for what you will. Is there risk involved with that? Sure. But, it's a little bit different in my opinion when it comes to other 14Cs that come out and when it comes to reverse stock splits in general. So it's a little bit of a delicate situation, a little bit touch and go when it comes to the RS. But, I think that's probably why a lot of people are shying away from this, because they just see reverse split and, don't want anything to do with it. But again, this isn't a for sure thing. It's definitely going to happen. You just got to take it for what it is, and then, base your own decision off of whatever plan that you have moving forward with PACV. Next one is FTEG. This is another one that I had on Follow Up Friday. We had entry points within our mentorship group, and just a general the free group within WeTrade HQ. We've been talking about this for a while. Got it around 0018. Protected my initial investment. It's since had 300% gains from that 0018 at the high of 0063. I firmly believe that based off of all the other due diligence that I've been doing, that this could have potentials to run to a penny, simply because they have all their filings together. They are current. And when they were just starting to get their filings going, this thing ran to a penny, no problem. You're looking at the financials or the fundamentals here. Float is pretty, the share structure is pretty small in my opinion. The OS looks quite large, but the way this thing is trading, it's not trading like it has anywhere near 2.5 billion in the float. So we'll see what goes on with FTEG. I think the momentum is still very much there. It appears that it could be starting to build a nice stair-stepper pattern here from a technical standpoint. Obviously, the RSI will likely cool down here a little bit, but we'll just kind of see what happens. This all can be thrown out the window. Again, like I said, if there's some sort of catalyst that comes about this week. My opinion overall, though, is that I don't know if if it were me and I was a publicly traded company, that I would be putting out any kind of PRs, this week in between Christmas and New Year's. But such is life in the OTC. This is what we call the Wild West of stock trading. So stranger things have happened. If they come out with a PR on this, some sort of catalyst that could motivate buyers to buy FTEG and get this price action moving up. Certainly a possibility this week, which again is why I'm watching this very closely. And we'll see what I'm going to be doing with the free shares that I have on FTEG. Last one, INKW. You guys know that I've been talking about this for a while. And I got in on INKW around the 1.5 cent range. I have added this past week when there's some selling going off. No idea why there's selling going on. The only thing I could think of is that maybe there's perhaps someone who maybe had a very large position. Maybe they were trying to sell before the new year. Who knows? We've seen stuff like that happen before. But, there was a very strong resistance at 3.5 cents. Then there's a very strong resistance at 3 cents. It's broken all of that up to this point. It's looking like the next level of support would be around the 2 cent range. I think it'll take a lot for it to break that 2 cent range, just because the RSI is really kind of approaching the low since it started its run. I'm not sure that we would see anything lower than that. Things have surprised me in the past, but it looks as if this 2 cent range could be a nice little area of support, and that perhaps it would be a nice entry or adding point if you already got a position on INKW. I've gone over a ton of due diligence on this already. They're involved in, CBD type drinks. They're getting ready to acquire a bottling facility that, can bottle up to 3 million drinks per week, or 3 million, manufacture 3 million bottles of beverages per week. Obviously the demand's got to be there for them to be able to sell that kind of stuff, but they're headed in the right direction with INKW. This acquisition could be a huge deal for them. They put money in escrow for INKW. We talked about this within my mentorship group as well. And they are now tradable on TD Ameritrade, which is another big deal. Before, they had this DTC chill on there, and TD Ameritrade, among others, have that special limitation that where you can't buy stocks that are under that DTC chill restriction. The DTC chill was lifted weeks ago. TD Ameritrade finally got the memo, was allowing people to be able to trade it on TD Ameritrade, and this is kind of like where the selling continued to start. There's a bunch of buying coming in. The most volume we've seen on INKW since the earlier days back in early November, even late October. So I don't think the volume stops here. I don't see it any kind of, it's not going to dry up, in my opinion, anytime soon. I think January and 2019 is going to be a big year for INKW. This is very much a long-term play for me. I see much more than short-term value in INKW, and it's going to be one that I'm going to be watching well into the new year. So there you go. We'll go ahead and turn it over to some questions and see if anybody's asking any at the moment. Go ahead and check all that out. All right. So LTSN, LTSN is what it is. I already talked about LTSN on Follow Up Friday. No reason why it moved the way that it did. All I can think of is that somebody had a huge position in it and just dumped it on everybody else. I had to sell it for a loss. Probably one of the worst trades that I've made this year, maybe if not ever. And it happens, when you deal with so much volatility down here in the OTC like we do, especially for somebody who has a strategy that I do when it comes to swing trading. That's the risk you run. Sometimes that happens, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm the best trader that ever lived. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every trade that I make is green. That's just not my style. I'd like to be fully transparent with you. That I'm human just like everybody else. But I do find more success more times than not. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you guys and being able to do this full time and holding down this as my main source of income. Having said that, I know that I've talked to you guys about my mentorship throughout this video. If you're interested in that, there's links in the description. It is a paid service, but if you join WeTradeHQ.com, that's completely free. It's no obligation to buy into my mentorship or my course that I have available for you as well. If you're interested in that, stepping up your game, maybe you need some extra help, learning some of this lingo, or even just how to trade, how to sift through all the fundamentals and stuff like that of OTC trading. All that's available for you as a paid service, but everything else within WeTradeHQ is absolutely free. We have an awesome community, a great family of folks in there that trade with other like-minded individuals, and we celebrate each other's success, no matter how big or small. It's just a great community to be a part of, guys. And I love it. I'm so excited for what 2019 holds for us. Lots of great things happening behind the scenes that we will reveal all to you coming shortly. So, Neil asks, can you explain what a reverse split is and why it could be good or bad? So, reverse splits in the OTC typically are bad. Reason being is that it really reduces your slice of the pie. So, if let's just say you have 100 shares, the float's 400 shares, so you have a quarter of that. They do a reverse split, meaning, and then now the float is, let's just say 4,000 shares. So then your slice of that pie has shrunken significantly and allowing more people to buy into that stock. So it's typically a bad thing, and it increases the price of the stock in general. It's just in the OTC. And even really, in any stock in particular, sometimes reverse splits can be good just because it's necessary to get more people to, more investors and that sort of thing. But for the OTC in general, typically it's a bad thing. It's one of those things where, how do I want to explain it? It's just, like I said, it just shrinks your piece of the pie. Just to kind of put it as simply as I possibly can without going into some crazy detailed explanation. Neil, I think that you're within our group, though. Feel free to shoot me a direct message, and I'll I can go into that with you a little bit more detail through a private message, so we're not taking up so much time. But all right, you just welcome. Merry Christmas to you as well. If you guys celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to all of you. I know Hanukkah is over by now. It started really early this year, but for those of you who celebrate Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah to you as well. Kwanzaa as well. Just overall happy holidays. I know Christmas is coming up, so if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. I do as well, so I certainly would appreciate it if you wish me Merry Christmas. I wouldn't be offended at all. But lots of good stuff coming up this week too. Please tune in. If you are joining me for the first time, if you've never seen a video like this and you want to see more, subscribe. Click that subscribe button. Click the little bell so you get notified every time I go live. And give this a thumbs up if you learned something today. And if you're interested in improving your game, please check the links down in the description. Again, we are WeTradeHQ.com. Got a nice little hoodie here. All kinds of apparel that you can check out as well. It's super comfy. People love it. And it's just something fun that we do. So if you guys are trading with me this week, I'll see you all before the bell tomorrow, and that is all I've got for you guys. Take it easy. B Smith is out, and have a good Sunday. See you guys.